You're watching New Car Spin. I'm your host, Brian, and this here is the Volvo S90 T6 R Design. This is probably going to be one of the most rarest Volvos you're going to see this year, and let me explain why. This is their big flagship sedan. We only get the long wheelbase here in the US, and the R Design is new for 2020. It includes sportier trim, blacked out window edges, blacked out mirror caps, different bumpers. And to me, this is a really good looking large sedan. And there is a reason why you won't see too many of these in the US. Let me just open the trunk here. Here's the reason. This is Volvo's website, and you'll see the sales by car model for January. We have the S90. They sold 34 in the United States in January of 2020. Now, if you think that's rare, the V90, which is the wagon, that one right there, they only sold 10 of them. Now, the V90 is the wagon version of this sedan, and the reason why they only sold 10 is because they're special order only. You have to go through Volvo Concierge to get one. So, the S90 then. Very, very rare, very luxurious indeed. Let me just go through the window sticker with you. So this one is actually the R Design, which is their sporty version. They have another one called Inscription, and then their base one, which is Momentum. So here we have the window sticker starting at 50,000. And then we have some options on here. The R Design option is 3,100. Then we have the advanced package, which includes the headlight washers, power trunk, heads-up display, LED lights, that's $2,850. And then we have rear heated seats and a heated steering wheel, the full leather on the seats, optional paint, 20-inch wheels, which look great. Total price of $60,440. Now, on the previous S90 video I did, I said it was made in Europe, and it's not. This car is actually, engine parts are Sweden, transmission parts are Japan, final assembly is in Daqing, China. 31 highway, 21 city. But you can't knock it for being assembled in China, which you're forgetting is the new wave of money these days is from China. So with Chinese money, what you get is a very luxurious back seat. So here I am, sitting in the back seat, and I have more control than you think. Let me close these doors. What you'll see is a controller here that allows me to move this front seat. So I can slide the seat forward, I can slide it back, I can move it in or out of my way however I please, which is great. And I also have extra buttons here. This button here, let's get the focus going for you, allows me to raise the rear sunshade. And if I wanted to, I could lower the sunshade on either side of the vehicle. Now, this is very S-Class, very 7 Series, very Audi A8-like. But again, I told you the sticker was $60,440, and that's before you negotiate. That's before incentives and before your deal. So we have rear heated seats. We have our climate controls back here. And granted, you know, the back seats don't move, but we still have plenty of room to enjoy. What I forgot to tell you, though, is the best seats in the automotive business are in this car. This car, the S90, best seats ever. You can't beat them. You could try with the BMW, which is only the second best. You could try with the Jaguar sports seats in the F-Pace SVR or the I-Pace with sports seats, but you can't beat that seat right there. So let's jump into it. Actually, we'll raise these curtains again. There we go. Oh yeah, you know what? Forgot to mention you can also open the sunroof shade from here. And it's a panoramic roof with a power shade. And I controlled that right from here. And if I wanted to, I can even open the sunroof from the back. How cool is that? Now again, I am battling my allergies today. So it's kind of a difficult time. This is what the front looks like. We have radar cruise, all the adaptive braking, everything goes on there. And then these are the wonderful seats. Very nice Napa leather, very supportive, nice and large. They definitely conform. And you definitely feel like you're wearing this car when you get in these seats. And you can see the contrast piping and contrast stitching. Very smooth, silky smooth. Better than that Audi Q8 that I almost basically lost myself over. So getting in here, we have controls to move the seat. They're power controls. If I push, I can change the lumbar, or I can change the extension of the cushion. So I'm going to do that right now. And I can also move the passenger seat from here if I wanted to. But right now, I'm going to get with driving it. Let me pause this. I'll be right back. Okay, what I want to do is make a U-turn here. Now the S90 is a pretty long car, and there's not much room here. But we'll see if we can get into our Austin Powers moment here. Go into reverse. We have a very, very nice backup camera. We also have auto brake hold, which I'm going to disable for a second. When we turn the steering wheel, we see our perspective, so it moves the lines. There we go. There's a park assist system as well, so this thing can park and unpark itself with you in the driver's seat. So part of what this Volvo system is the S90 is the sedan. There's also an S60 sedan, which I did a review on. And we are at Volvo of Austin, so I want to thank them for letting me take this car around the block today. This is the T6, so it's all-wheel drive, and it has a supercharged and turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Puts out somewhere around 313 horsepower, somewhere about that. And all-wheel drive means, obviously, it sends power to all four wheels. Now, you can get the T5 if you wanted front-wheel drive only. And then, of course, if you wanted a more powerful all-wheel drive version, there is the T8, which is a hybridized version. Same engine as the T6, but they also add an electric motor for the rear wheels and hybrid, plug-in hybrid capabilities. So this being the R design, it is a very responsive look to the vehicle. It's got a sporty aspect to it. I love the design of it. And if you were to tint the windows on this, I would say that this is a pretty badass looking car. It's very masculine. It hasn't lost any edge to it. It's very appealing. And you should see one in person. It really is very nice in here in the interior. This is real metal, by the way. All of this trim is spectacular. What I'm going to do is put it on the navigation. And we'll try and get around the block. Traffic's pretty bad today. It's Friday afternoon in Austin, so good luck with that. And I'm not going to go over all of the features in here because I've done it in the other S90 video and I've done it in the S60. And if you've seen one Volvo video, basically on the tech, you've seen them all because they actually all include all this tech now. Especially with this advanced package. You're not really missing out on anything here unless you were to go a little further on the luxury side. You'd have to get the Inscription model. So Inscription has a chrome trim below the doors, but it also has massage seats and vented seats. So you're really not losing much going R design. And if you were to go to Momentum, you're getting basically a budget version. Again, my apologies. My allergies are, they're killer. Like they've been, I've been in bed all day yesterday, and you got to get off zero. It's either one day or day one, but you got to keep moving. So today, the S90 motivated me to get out and go do something. I'm not flooring it, by the way. We're just going down a city street. So Volvo of South Austin, by the way, sold 4 of those 34 S90s that were sold. Volvo of Austin is basically a a what would you say, a top dealer for Volvos in Austin and all of Texas. So it's a very nice dealership, and I've personally done business with them, so that should say a lot for you. In essence, what we have here is a car that has a few options on it. We don't have Bang & Olufsen, or Bowers & Wilkins, but we do have Harman Kardon, which comes on the S90s, and I think it's on the advanced package for the S60s as well. And a lot of people complain about this system being slow, but adjusting the temperature and everything has been pretty easy for me to do here. I have no complaints about it. It's just that you have to get used to this screen. Everyone's going with this screen. No one bitches about this in the Teslas. So think about that. We have auto stop start on the engine, which you can disable in the system here. I think we just go this way, actually. There we go. And then we have different drive modes here. So what we'll do is we'll go into dynamic. And just on a normal acceleration run, there's an effortless feeling of power. We're not flooring it. We're not winding this thing out. It's basically just scooting right along. I don't even feel like it's 55 miles an hour. This feels like 35. We're doing 60 now. But it's amazing how simple and smooth, and just for such a sophisticated car, it's not like your traditional German luxury sedan. Now we do have paddles to change gears. This is an 8-speed automatic. It's an ACE automatic. It's not a ZF. But it's still a very smooth transition. And I wouldn't call it slow to shift, but that's all relative, I guess. We do have cup holders up here, but they have a panel to hide them if you don't want to look at them. Now we can show the full map on our screen here. And we do have options for our heated seats right here. Everything's pretty easy to locate, and the buttons are nice and large. Our air conditioning system, we also have parking climate. Even though this is not a hybrid or a plug-in, we still have the ability to precondition the vehicle before you get in, which is interesting. And what else do we have? We have our screen, which has tiles, which are these right here. So if we go to this screen, we have information about our fuel consumption. We have our phone, which I don't have paired, obviously, and then our information on our satellite. What's really nice is the satellite shows what's playing on each channel right now. So you don't have to find yourself channel surfing like you would if it was cable TV. You just look and go, oh, that's a sound. I want to hear that one. That's a good one. So it's really convenient to use, and all the information's right where I need it. I need where I can see it, and it's perfect. The comfort level in here is great. The armrest is not adjustable, but it's long enough and high enough to where I don't have any complaint really about where it's located. And the door armrest also matches the same height, so nothing ever feels a little odd. It's just absolutely perfect. And we have electronic lockouts for the rear child lock system, so you can lock the doors and the windows at the same time with one press of a button. It's not manual. Now I can hear the turbo and superchargers working. I feel them doing their things. I can't tell you which one's doing what, but it is a weird feeling, to say the least. You also see in the mirror there that little arc line at the edge. That is the blind spot monitoring system. There you go. And it alerts when people are approaching the vehicle, not just when they are in the blind spot. So as cars are approaching me, I get that warning. In some cars, that only goes off when someone's actively in the spot. But in the Volvo, like the Audi and the Lexus systems, if people are approaching you, you will get notified that you're on approach, which helps you save a lot of time from doing a mischange, basically. You see stitching here on the dash. Just the more time you spend in here, the more things you see. And I haven't even turned on the heads-up display. And the acceleration is pretty brisk for such a large car. If you wanted a sportier feeling, you'd have to get the S60, which is obviously smaller and lighter. But if you wanted to stay this size, then you'd have to get the T8. And hopefully they'll be carrying more T8s pretty soon, because Volvo does have an electrification initiative where half of their cars sold by 2025 will be electrified. So the T6, though, you can't go wrong if you're looking for something that's luxurious and affordable. And I gotta say, this whole interior kind of reminds me, like the way it sounds, the way it feels, like a 1985 Mercedes-Benz S300. It just feels very robust in here. Some people want it's got to be like baby soft everything, and this is. And it's got stitched everything, stitched padding on the center console. And I mean, where is it lacking in the luxury department? This is like what Mercedes used to be like in the 80s. Honestly, think about it. And it's just totally up to date with this kind of system here. And we can change our settings. We can go distance alert, private locking. You can even have Amazon deliver packages to your car. There's another screen here for more information. Just it's crazy. This car just has so many features and settings that I can't do it justice in a 20-25 minute video. But I do want to tell you, before you go out and lease that Audi A6, and before you go out there and think that E-Class, that E300 4-cylinder is worth it, you need to give the Volvo a thought. Even though you might not like the fact that it is made in China or assembled in China, you are totally missing out on a vehicle that has the best seats, a very luxurious interior, and an engine that is basically a worldwide engine. It is the same engine in all of the Volvo models on the T6 and T8 line. So here we are back at Volvo Austin. Again, I want to thank my friends here, Grant, for letting me drive this S90 today. It is definitely a very nice vehicle to be in. Let me pull it up right here, actually. What I'll do is pop the hood and walk around it one more time for you. Set the park and brake. Now we do have some controls here for defrost and then play and pause for the stereo. So I'll show you how that works right here. We are on Grateful Dead, and we can pause, and it's actually pausing satellite radio, and we can play from here or we can play from down here. And if we wanted to change our volume, we use this here. I can't give you too much of the experience because YouTube will flag my videos. So I'll leave it running in park and brake set. We have drive modes here. In the T8 you would have a pure electric drive mode, but here in the T6, Eco, Comfort, and Dynamic, it defaults to Comfort. Let's go back here. It defaults to Comfort, and we were in Dynamic. And here we have our pilot assist systems and our settings. I mean, there's just so much here. Every luxury car has these same settings, and you basically aren't missing out across the board on the Volvo, like compared to a Mercedes or an Audi. They're all going to have these systems, and it's a matter of how you interact with them. Let me pop the hood for you. Huh. We even have a storage bin here. Huh. So on the S90, the hood is held up by these gas struts, and this is the 4-cylinder. It is transverse mounted. If it was like a rear-wheel drive setup or default rear-wheel drive, it would be longitudinal, but this way we're transverse, so the default would be front-wheel drive. So there's probably a Haldex differential system to send power to the rear when it's needed. And you'll see here, unlike the Audis, we have a seal here that goes along the entire front of the hood to keep all the water in the rain from coming in when you're driving along. So the seal system is very unique for Volvo compared to what Audi's not doing. The seal's also on the back as well. It's a pretty nice setup. And these are the Thor's Hammer headlights. They're really cool. Full LED active high beam. And these are the really cool 20-inch wheels. Looks just very nice. Tint the windows on this and I think you got yourself a very intimidating looking car. So I'm going to grab my laptop and my drink, and the last thing I want to show you is the key. This key actually comes with this car. It's the Sport Activity key. There are no buttons on it, and you're able to wear this key when you're doing your activities, and you can just simply keep this on your body and get into the vehicle, and you don't have to carry around a cumbersome fob, although this car does have those fobs with the buttons on them. And there is a red fob that you can get if you want to let your kids drive the car and limit them to their speed. But we do not have fold down seats in here, whereas we do in the, oh, maybe we do here. Forgot to check. Yeah, we do have fold down seats right there. Those are the buttons. You press this one. There we go. So there we go, a very large sedan with fold down rear seats. Isn't that nice? And still plenty of room. That's crazy. Look at how much room that is. And that's because this is based off of the wagon, or the wagon is based off of this, depending on how you want to look at it. Pretty cool. And a power trunk, of course. So that's it. The S90 T6 R design all-wheel drive. And the best part is you can Polestar this car. You can Polestar optimize it, and it will go up to 330 horsepower. And it's a factory tune, so it doesn't void the warranty. Beat that, Audi. And there we go, it's off. Turn off the rear child locks. Raise the rear seats again. Put the arm headrests up. There we go. Alright, there it is. The S90. Great sedan. Thanks for watching.